Alright guys, welcome to AutoNext, and this is the Jaecoo 7, the latest Chinese crossover SUV that's coming to Europe. And yeah, it looks a bit like, what do you need to say? Maybe this angle a little bit of Bentayga, and from the side a little bit of a Range Rover vibe. It looks quite funny because it's sitting on these small 19-inch wheels. It has these funky Range Rover look-alike door handles. It's it's quite a fun looking car. So this is the PHEV, the SHS as they call it at Jaecoo. So yeah, I think it's time to hop in and go for a little drive. Let's go for it. All right, here we go. Let's join me for a little ride in this Chinese small crossover. It's the first, well, Chinese car that I'm actually driving, I think. So let's see how good it actually is. I've been driving this for the last few days because yeah, I had honestly no idea what to expect with this thing. And yeah, first impressions were honestly really good. I really think it looks great. Okay, I'm not an SUV fan in general, but the design, it's quite okay, you know, it's simple lines on the outside. Of course, it's a mixed design coming from cars that we're quite familiar with, but still, it looks okayish, you know, there's no weird design language whatsoever. So on the exterior, I quite like it. It sits a bit too high, maybe, in my opinion. Definitely with those small wheels, it looks a bit out of shape, but in general, it's quite good looking car. And on the interior, well, first impressions were honestly really nice. Everything feels very, very high-end materials, to be honest. Leather steering wheel, fully leather interior, leather look-alike dashboard, soft materials all over the place, like the center console, the doors. Honestly, in general, really good impressions. I really like it. Everything feels quite solid, and then we have more cheaper plastics, but only, yeah, you know, hidden below, just like BMW or Audi does. So I don't really mind that. So first impressions, honestly, really nice. Also the design from the interior, I really like it because it's just quite simple. No weird design again, just a flat dashboard with, of course, with this infotainment display. But the design is quite European, I'd say, which is really good. So we have one display here, it's 14.8 inch, which is fine, you know, it does its thing. Then we have a small display here and a few buttons here, down here. So it's quite minimalistic, which is, honestly, I like that. I like a minimalistic interior. So it's very cool. And I think I did about 1,000 kilometers maybe with it now. No, maybe, I don't know, but quite a lot of kilometers. And so yeah, you have two versions. So this is the SHS, the super hybrid system as they call it at Jaecoo, which is equipped with a 1.5 petrol engine, 4-cylinder in line, develops 143 horsepower, so it's not that much. And it's equipped with an electric motor, which develops 204 horsepower, so combined 347, and a total of 525 newton meters of torque, which is quite a lot, to be honest. Engine feels very smooth, so I quite like it. And then you have another version which is available, and that's pure petrol engine, 1.6 liter. So yeah, quite cool and quite limited also, but that's plenty of choice, you know. For now, the brand's coming to you, it's new in Europe, so you want to launch something that's good and that the people want. So somehow it makes sense, because of course diesel is already dead, unfortunately, and people aren't buying it anymore. So it doesn't make any sense to bring a diesel engine in the market in Europe. So yeah, about Jaecoo, yeah, so this is their first model. I think the Jaecoo 9, is coming later this year. It's just, yeah, a little bit of a bigger model. So this is the smaller crossover kind of SUV, because we don't have enough of those in the market already. So we need another one. So yeah, it's comparable to a Tiguan, BMW X1. The small crossovers. So the driving, that's the important thing, because in general, yeah, I told you, the quality, the interior, it feels really nice. I really like it. Of course, it feels inspired by some other brands like the Airvans it looks like they come straight out of a Volvo. Steering wheel looks a bit Range Rover-y. So yeah, there is definitely influence from many other brands. But I do like, for example, go ahead, sir. I do like, for example, the clean center console, which is floating, as you can see. So you have a lot of storage down here. You have storage for 2 phones, because that's a thing in a lot of new cars. There's no storage for phones. Oh, sir. Oi, oi, oi. People are so grumpy nowadays. It's crazy. I was talking about the center console, and then you have these, just place for, drinks, water bottle, and then a big other storage space here. There's more storage space, of course, here in the glove box, and the doors are there's also quite a lot of storage space. So that's good. It's really nice to have a lot of storage space, and that the manufacturer thought about it, which is good. So yeah, then driving in general, first impressions were that it's very hard. Suspension is super hard. I came from my own Audi A6, which is might not be the perfect example, but it's a very chilly, smooth car, the A6 with the air suspension. But even then, for a small SUV, it felt really hard. Didn't quite like it. On the highway, of course, it's fine, but on smaller B roads, you can really feel it jumping beneath you, which isn't very ideal, I think. Really didn't like it that much. Steering is very, very, very light. I think sometimes too light, because you lack a bit of feeling inside the steering wheel. Again, driving on smaller roads in the town like I'm doing now, it's completely fine. It's very, very smooth. But once you're driving a bit faster, it really lacks feedback. I don't like it. It's quite annoying. So but then one funny thing is, because I don't know how, but the steering, I don't like it. But the way the car behaves in a corner, like for example a big corner on the highway or whatever, or a corner you go through with quite some speed, the chassis handles it really well. There's, in my opinion, not too much of a body that feels like going completely to another side. So it's quite steady in a corner, which is quite fun. Gives that more sporty character, I suppose. And then about the driving, more seating position is quite okay. I have the idea. I'm 1 meter 80, 86, 87, and I have the feeling that it's not made for people as tall as me, because my knees are quite high. The space for my feet is limited. Definitely for my left leg, where my feet stands on the stand. It's not a very relaxing driving position. So I have the feeling that on a long distance, it might get quite annoying. I'm maybe sitting too straight, but that's also the driving position maybe in this kind of cars. Not the biggest fan of it. But then you have this soft material, which is again very enjoyable, because every part you're looking at, or you're touching, whatever, it feels like quality. So that's very good. That's quite nice. So Jaecoo, they say this plug-in hybrid version does 1,200 kilometers. So on one fuel tank and one battery and one full battery. I'm not sure if that's quite accurate, but I think you'll easily do over 1,000 kilometers if you don't drive like an idiot. So that's quite okay. And let's not forget the fuel tank, if I'm not mistaken, is 60 liters. it's quite big. And then the battery capacity is 18.3, which is okay-ish if you manage it quite smartly. You can do between 90 or 100 kilometers pure electric, which is honestly quite decent, and the car manages just everything itself, almost everything itself. You can play a bit in the settings, but depending on the percentage of the battery you have left, it goes immediately on. So yeah, it manages everything itself. You can play a bit in the settings with it. Let me check it. Honestly, and this is where the stuff gets really complicated and almost annoying, because it's a very, very complicated system, I think. Many settings. Honestly, it took me quite a while to figure it out. Mostly of the time I'm like very fast with these things, but this, and I continue to forget where to find stuff, so that's quite annoying. So I think this is in the new energy tab, and then you can like work on the power saving mode, like initial smart force, blah 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 blah, and you can set and now the other annoying part starts. It's because I'm getting distracted, you know, by the screen, but yeah, what I need to do. So you can control a lot of settings of the battery here, vehicle settings, also a million settings, driver assistance, the most annoying part of the car, because they're so sensitive that you can't do anything. For example, I'm getting, I don't know, I might look at a cyclist, I might look at, I don't know, the screen like I'm doing now for navigation or whatever, and then the, how it's called again, the driver monitoring system alarm will flash out completely and be like, yeah, watch out, continue focusing on the road. It's super annoying. It's way too sensitive. They really need to figure it out. And of course, all these settings, they just switch back on when turning off the car. So I really hate it. Voilà. So now the battery of your vehicle is low. It's recommended to switch to the intelligent power saving mode, whatever that might be. Okay, it's just turning on the petrol engine. You have been distracted again. So it's a lot of bang, bang, bong, alarm, that, watch out. It's honestly, it's a real pain. I don't like it when these systems are being too sensitive. I hope they might fix this thing with some easy software update. Might save a lot of pain for customers. Yeah, it's really annoying. It's quite okay fast, but it's like, I don't know what's wrong with it somehow. But yeah, I don't know, when you just want to go, sometimes it's like hesitating. It's like, what should I do? Power from electric engine, power from petrol engine? Should I combine the two? Sometimes the car, I have the idea that it's like lost in the thinking, like, what should I do? And I had it once really weird. I was at red light, was green light, and I was like, I want to know how fast or how easily it goes from 0 to 100 or whatever. And the car was like super slow, and then it goes fast, like stopping, flooring, loses traction completely. And then it's like, and it gets a bit power, and I'm full throttle, and the power is 60%. I'm like, that's super weird. I have honestly no idea what it's doing or how it's managing, but you can feel that there's way too much power, or that the system can't handle the power of the 300, almost 50 horsepower on the front wheels, and it's only in front wheel drive available. So that's the thing also that they really need to work on, because it's very annoying. Same for the limit or the cruise control, because when you drive on the cruise control, it's again very sensitive. So if you don't touch the steering wheel, 3 seconds later it'll lose its mind, and if you touch the steering wheel too much, again it'll also lose its mind. So you'll just have to like hold it and like do what the car is doing, and that's it. You know, you can't put any input into the steering wheel or it'll flash out. So yeah, quite annoying again. And then on the limit, that's a really big weird thing, because in general I always drive on the limit, because it's more enjoyable. I think I still have a connection with the throttle, and if there's traffic, I can just release the throttle and just play with that. You know, it's much more intuitive for me. But this is where it gets really weird, because when I'm driving on the limit, I'm gonna do it now. Let me see, boink. I'm gonna just drive at 40. Voila, I'm at 35 limit, and I always have the feeling that the car's like always searching. I'm again distracted. Calm down, please. Then yeah, the car is still searching somehow. Like, what should I do? I don't know. Petrol engine, electric engine. It feels so weird. I don't get it what it's doing here. And definitely on higher speeds, then it's very annoying. You can really almost feel it, and it makes you. I had a trouble when I was in the passenger seat and working on my laptop, that I got sick. So that's really not okay. Again, might be just a software issue, but stuff that needs to be fixed. And also on the steering, that's quite weird, because you have just the buttons, but yeah, you have no idea how to set up the systems, what to do. So it's quite annoying, and I'm gonna turn off this driving monitoring system alert because it gets really annoying. So yeah, I understand that there's a lot of stuff that's mandatory from Europe, and they're killing it, which is honestly a true nightmare. So Europe, please stop doing this stuff. But as a car manufacturer, I know you can do something about it and just make it easy to turn off the systems, like for example with Land Rover, where you just have to push one or two buttons. Same for BMW, where you have to push one button. So yeah, just please make the car as enjoyable as possible for drivers. This is also a very fun one. The speed limit or the cruise, there's like a massive delay in the touch moment. So you touch you want to switch, and then suddenly it goes like up to 10 kilometers. Like, oh, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I want. So also there in the feedback of the buttons, it needs to be checked, because there's or a big delay or it's too slow. Like, really difficult to figure it out, to be honest. So yeah, in general, I think it's a good car with a lot of potential, but there's still a lot of work to do. And I really hope that at Jaecoo they don't like think it's a bad car, but just, you know, you're a new brand, learn to deal with the feedback that customers have. I'm not a customer, but that or press has. Learn to work on that, improve the car, and then I think it's gonna be a very cool product, because design-wise it's there, it looks good. I don't have much to say on that, but in general, the driving of the car, the usability really needs to be worked on. And yeah, then you can really convince people, because at the end people are still, I think it's my case, but people are still attached to somehow, definitely in Europe, to the culture, to the history of a car. You know, in Italy they sell a lot of Italian brands. In France they sell a lot of French brands. In Germany they sell a lot of German brands. So getting there as a new manufacturer, and your car is like at 80% finished, then you won't be able to convince people. You really need to bring a product in the market that's 100% ready, that is future-proof, no messing around, and then with a good or whatever price, but the product needs to be like finished. And then on the price-wise, yeah. So this Jaecoo 7 in the SHS version starts at, what is it? 36,000 euros, which is honestly really cheap. And then in the higher exclusive version, the one we're driving now, is 39,900. Again, it's super cheap. So if they can get the product right, and like they can bring it from 80 to 95 or 100%, then you have a really cool product. Then you really have a cool product. But there's still work to do, and that's fine. I think that's okay. You know, there are many car brands that had some issues in the past, that had to work on the product again. For example, BMW now with the brand new X3. Yeah, it also is a product that needs to be reworked, and which is fine. Just admit it, and you can all move on, and we can get a better product at the end of the day, and that's what everybody wants. So don't think it's a bad thing. For now, yeah, I'm still enjoying this thing. It's again not a bad car, but just a lot of stuff to do on it, and a lot of potential. So yeah, I'm quite curious to see what future will bring for Jaecoo and Omoda, because yeah, it's like a sister company. So yeah, I'm quite curious to see if the cars will improve, if we will see them, of course, on the road, because yeah, brand new car, and people are quite curious, because I had a few people who are like, huh, what is this? And tell me a little bit more about the car, which is cool, you know. People are curious, but if you want to convince them, the product needs to be done. So yeah, that's all I can say, guys. But yeah, on that bombshell, thank you very much for watching this latest car review of AutoNext. I'm already looking forward to more. We have again a lot of cars coming soon on the channel. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. Don't miss anything. And if you have like your own feedback or impressions about Jaecoo, Jaecoo 7, share them. I'm quite curious to learn more about your experiences. Would be lovely to discuss in the chat and in the comments. So yeah. Again, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye bye. Cheers.